Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Happy Foodie Friday. It's Tanya here, and I'm back live. I hope you celebrated a wonderful Christmas holiday. Happy New Year to you as well and to your family. And I want to thank you for dropping by today. You are in my kitchen, and I'm here in Lethbridge, Alberta, Canada. We are actually formerly from Ontario, Canada, and we've been living here for about the last over 3 years. And we're thoroughly enjoying it here. So actually, I will explain the weather a little bit today. We are having a deep freeze. And so our whole family is home today, so it's quite exciting. I love Fridays because normally either our middle child doesn't have school on Fridays, or our youngest only has school till halfway through the day. So, but they're all home today. Derek's actually working from home, my husband, and he's in another room as I'm preparing this for you today. And yeah, just a little bit of background. As I mentioned, we're from Ontario, and we made the move here, just as I mentioned, over 3 years ago for a better lifestyle for all of us. And I could go on and on. There's a lot of components to that, the commute. Luckily Derek doesn't have that long, lengthy commute anymore. We've got the mountains that are here that are close by. We can do hiking and do all those fun outdoor activities, and that's part of the reason that we made this move. So without further ado, I want to introduce you to a new recipe. Mostly I've been doing muffins, cookies, brownies, those sorts of things. But today I want to try something new with you, and it's a biscuit. So hopefully this is something that you will want to enjoy with either soup or chili or something of that matter. And it's called Lemon Thyme Biscuits. And I will admit I haven't actually made this recipe myself yet. Normally I'll come on here and I'll do tried and true recipes, but I came across this recipe book on my shelf last night, and I decided that I wanted to do something a little bit different, a little bit new. And normally these sessions only last for about 10 minutes, sometimes 15 depending. And so I do appreciate your support. I appreciate you dropping by. And if you've never landed here before, welcome. I'd love to also hear where you're tuning in from, because we are global, and I am running this page with my husband Derek. But we are not talking business today. We are talking baking. So I will get on with the show. The first thing is I have a stand mixer. You don't have to have a stand mixer to do this. I just know that this was a recipe from that stand mixer book, but I am going to try it out, and I've got the paddle insert for that. So if you have a stand mixer, you're going to want to use the flat paddle for that. And the ingredients are everything in your house. So except for you might maybe not have the herb thyme on hand, but in any case, you can use any herb for that. So if you want to use oregano or basil or parsley or something of that matter, you can certainly replace it with that. So, and I also will leave, and I do this every time, leave the recipe in the comments for you so that you can come back and download it and save it for your notes. And if you want to prepare it for your family, that's wonderful. And if you ever want to come back and show me what you've prepared, I would love to see that as well. Anywhere on my page, let me know. Or if you want to just tag this post with your completed baked good, I would love to see it. And that's what I'll also do too. So I don't always have time in the same day to have the finished product visible, but I will come back and show you on my page what it looks like a few hours later, and you can enjoy that as well. All right, so the first thing is we've got, for the ingredients are, as I mentioned, most things in your kitchen. So flour, baking soda, baking powder, salt, lemon. If you don't have lemons, maybe that's something you'll have to grab, but lemon zest and a little bit of lemon juice. And the lemon juice mixed with the milk will actually create a buttermilk. So that's what I've done. In the recipe, it will call for buttermilk, but you can just use a tablespoon of that lemon, because you're going to need a lemon for the lemon zest. So squeeze out that lemon and use a tablespoon of the lemon juice mixed with the 3/4 of a cup of any milk that you want to use. I'm using a milk substitute because we have sensitivities in our family. And so you can go ahead and use an almond milk, any cashew milk, anything like that, to mix with the lemon juice. So I can add that as notes later on when you grab the recipe as well. And then butter and a little bit of sugar. So that's pretty well it. The ingredients are pretty straightforward and easy to find. Now, one tip I also love to mention is to grab all the ingredients and put them out on your counter instead of going one by one, because that's, you know, time consuming and you have to keep going back to the recipe to read, oh, did I get that? Did I put that ingredient in? And then you're second guessing yourself. This way, what I've done is I've pre-measured everything in bowls. And so all I have to do is really just dump and stir and, you know, go with the recipe and follow directions that way. And one key thing we also do is to set the oven. So I'm going to preheat it to 350. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that now. Okay, and the oven is set, and I also have my baking tray handy in the background. I'm not sure if you can see it. So I'm all ready to go. So this should be a matter of minutes to get this all together and put it in here. So the first step is going to be to put the flour. So as I mentioned, I pre-measured the flour. It's 2 cups. So I'm going to put that in the mixer first. Okay, and the next step is, and now what I've done is I've put the baking powder, the baking soda, and the salt just all in one bowl, because most times that all those 3 will be added to your recipe at the same time. And then the last thing is the thyme. So that's only for the first step. So flour, sugar, oh, I've got to add the sugar as well, baking powder, baking soda, thyme, salt, and actually the lemon zest as well. So I've zested a lemon, so I'm going to dump that in there as well. And you know, for zesting, either you've got your cheese grater, usually on the side they'll have a smaller portion where you can, you know, use that to make the zest, or you can have a handheld one like this here. So that's what I use for zesting my lemon. Okay, so now I'm going to just turn the mixer on, and we'll just put it on a lower setting just for the time being. Just what's happening is I'm just gonna mix all the dry ingredients. So it doesn't have to be on a fast cycle or anything like that. But while this is happening, I just want to hear from you. How was your holiday? What did you end up doing? What was the most exciting experience that you had when you were celebrating with family and friends? I'd love to hear it. We had our daughter here. I don't know if you've ever been on my page before. If you have, you probably heard this already, but she was here for 3 weeks, and she's living in Ontario right now for finishing her last and final 4th year of university. So we're super happy for her. And she was able to spend 3 weeks with us. So that was very exciting. And I actually had her on one of my Foodie Fridays while she was here. And I missed a couple because, you know, with the holidays, it just, you know, people are busy and there's just a whole lot going on. And when I returned or took her to the airport, that was also on a Friday. So just didn't manage to get on here for that. But, you know, moving forward, I will continue to do these on Fridays. And I love to call it Foodie Friday. So I've got all the dry ingredients mixed together. Now the next step is going to be to put it on speed 2. So that's just like a low speed. And I have to start adding the butter 1 piece at a time. Okay. Until combined, 1 piece at a time. And then I have to add the buttermilk. So I'm just looking to see where that is. Set to stir until combined. Okay, so I'm gonna do the butter first. Sorry guys. So I'm gonna do the butter. It's just particular. It's actually like they want me to put pieces and chunks of the butter in gradually. So I just didn't want to miss or do that step improperly. So I'm going to do that while it's on. I'm going to put it on 2, as I mentioned. And so what's going to happen is it's going to resemble coarse corn, like a cornmeal, and that's when I'll know that it's ready for the buttermilk. So a little finicky on this stage, but we'll get it. So I'm just going to put each of these pieces in one at a time. But I can't wait for the outcome. I love lemon and I love thyme. So when I saw that recipe, I thought I gotta do this. This is something I thoroughly enjoy. And I'm getting a little tired of the sweet goods that we've been, you know, baking over the holidays as well. So I thought, you know, we need something a little different for today. So again, you can, you know, combine this or have it alongside, you know, soup or chili or maybe even a stew. That would be nice. You know, if you've got leftovers from Christmas, Sometimes what I'll do is I'll freeze like turkey pieces, or make a stew and then freeze that as well. So you can always pull that out of the freezer and then enjoy these biscuits as well. So thank you for your patience here. This is a little more time consuming than I realized it was going to be, but we want to do it right. So I'm just going to put each of these chunks in here. Almost ready here. And then what's going to happen is the buttermilk will combine, and then it will bind the dough together. And then I'm going to be scooping it out with, and like scooping it into piles actually, on the cookie sheet so that they will resemble biscuits. So you don't have to use your hands for that. You've got, like if you have an ice cream scoop, that would be wonderful. You can use that. And that way it can be more accurate measurements as well. So I love using my ice cream or big cookie scoop, or your muffin scoop, whatever you want to call it. So it's almost ready here. I'm just making sure that it's combined enough before I add the buttermilk. And I've got a guard on this as well. I'll just give you a view. Just don't want to tip you over here, but still working on getting that second view on here. So I've got my techie son that's going to help me find a way of being able to show you this view and the view of the product that I'm making, so that you can also see what's happening at the same time. So, okay, and now decrease to stir and then mix in. Okay, so now I'm going down to stir. And I'm going to add the buttermilk that's already pre-measured. So what I did was I added close to a tablespoon of lemon juice, because it wasn't quite a full cup. It's 3/4 of a cup of milk. So you want to combine the two to make the buttermilk. So I'm going to just add that now. Let the mixer do the work. And when that's ready, then I will use the scoop, and I will start to put that on the cookie sheet, as I mentioned. All right. So again, where are you tuning in from? I'd love to see where you are, and write in the comments, what time zone you're in even. I know that, we've got people that are probably, just going to bed at this point in time, and, some of us are just waking up. It's also very nice to know how connected we can be on the internet. Like, it just brings people together, and that's amazing. Okay, it's almost together. So once it's together, then I can start to use the scoop. So yeah, this is handy, because I don't have to get my hands all in there. Sometimes I don't mind doing that, but right now it's kind of nice that it's doing the work for me. Okay, well, it says until the dough forms, and I've got a dough here. So I'm going to turn this off, and I'm going to just crank it down, and I'm going to use the scoop, as I mentioned, and then I'll show you what it's going to look like. There we go. Take this off the stand right here, and I'm just going to take some of the dough off the paddle. It's kind of a little bit stuck. That's to be expected, but I think that's why also you use the muffin scoop, is because then you won't have this problem of things sticking to your hands. Okay, so that's that. And I'm just going to grab I've got the tray here already, and I've got silicone. I love using the silicone, because then not only am I being eco-friendly, but also it's easier for removal of any of the baked goods. So that's what I love to do. I'm just going to wash my hand here a little bit. Okay, and then it says it should make about 8. So I'm going to try and portion them to the same size. See what I can do here to make 8. So of course you could always double this recipe if you know that you're going to want to store some, or you have company coming and you know that you want to have a little extra on hand. You can always do that. take them and put it in the freezer, or you can store them in the fridge for a few days. I think it's probably up to about five days or something in the fridge. So that's an option as well. And then it depends on what size you want. Like I'm going with what they're gauging, but if you want to make them smaller and make this recipe stretch further, by all means you can do that too. Okay, I think I'm on track for making 8, so that's exciting. And I'll just shape them a little bit as well. The cookie scoop only helps so much, but I will try and shape these a bit and show you what they're gonna look like before I put them in the oven. So that's exciting. All right. And I also would love to hear from you if you have a recipe that you'd love for me to try. Maybe you've got one that's tried and true. I'd love to do that with you at some point. So, also make a comment there and let me know what you have in mind, and I would love to do that with you. Okay, so some of them are a bit uneven. I'm just making them a little bit more even, and that way they'll bake better too. If you have things that are proportionate, that's another reason for using the scoop, is that way they will bake at the same time. Okay, I think I'm pretty good here. I mean, it's not perfect, but I think that they're pretty well even. Okay, and so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put that in it says actually in the freezer for up to 2 weeks. So yeah, these only have to bake for 10 minutes. So I'm gonna pop them in the oven, and then I'll show you the end result later on. I'll put that on my page and also share with you the recipe. So I do want to thank you again for stopping by. I hope that you got something out of this, and I hope that you'll also do the same. You'll bake this for your family and enjoy it with one of your favorite dishes as well. All right, well, take care. Have a wonderful rest of your Friday. Have a great weekend. And I can't wait to tune in again next Friday for Foodie Friday. All right, take care and bye for now.